Bismillah. We'll enter the chapter Ismul Fa'il. أولا we'll take a definition for the Ismul Fa'il, the ta'rif. It says Ismul Fa'il هو اسم الذي يدل على الفعل وعلى من وقع منه الفعل. So the definition of a Ismul Fa'il is a noun that indicates towards the action and the one the action occurs from. In other words, the doer of the action. So in English, we would call someone who writes, we'll call him a writer. And someone that runs, we'll call him a runner, and so on. So the Ismul Fa'il, we use it for the one that does an action, or the one that is doing the action. And the translation that they use for Ismul Fa'il is the active participant. And he gives us a tanbih, there's a notice. So اسم الفاعل اسم وليس فعلا فيكون آخره منونا أي ينتهي آخره بالتنوين. So the اسم الفاعل, he says, notice it is a noun and it's not a verb. So its ending will be or will end with a tanween. So we know that the verbs, we've mentioned verbs do not end with a tanween, and nouns end with tanween. That's one way to differentiate between the difference between a noun and a verb. So he says, notice that it is a verb, it is a noun, not a verb, therefore its ending will have a tanween. So on the next page we said وزن اسم الفاعل من الثلاثي. So first we're going to take the thulathi, and then we'll do the ruba'i, the khumasi and sudasi separately. So the thulathi usually has its own set of principles, and then the 3, 4, 5 and 6 letters will have their own. So he said fa'il, mithl. So before we go into the examples, to get from the verb to the ismul fa'il, what you do is you increase with a alif after the first root letter. So our root letters are fa, ain and lam. Then what you do is increase with a alif after the first root letter. So here we have kataba. Kataba means to write. Kataba means to write. How do we say the writer? We put it on the scale fa'ilun. The result is katibun. So katibun is someone that writes. Kafara means to disbelieve. We put it on our scale fa'ilun. The result is kafirun. Kafir is a disbeliever. Kafara is to disbelieve. Thabata, to be firm. Someone that's firm will be a thabit. Thabitun. And remember, they all end with a tanween, as these are nouns. Shahida, to witness. The one that witnesses is called a shahid. La'iba, to play. The one that plays, or a player, la'ibun. Salima, to be safe. The one that's safe is salimun. Until the end. So those are the examples for the ismul fa'il. Then the author gives us an exercise. هات اسم الفاعل مثل الأفعال التي. Okay, so give us, he says, give me the اسم الفاعل from the following verbs. So we have علم. علم on the scale فاعل will be عالم. عالم sometimes translated as a scholar, but he could be someone that knows. So عالم is someone that knows. And if you were to go through some of the examples here that are common, you have hasada. Hasada is to envy. The one that is envious, he's called a hasid. Another famous one that is hafidha, to memorize. Hafidha. The one that has memorized, we use it for someone, it's commonly used for someone that has memorized the Quran. He's called the hafidhun. You might say, I'm a hafidh. Talaba. Talaba means to seek. Doesn't mean student, it means to seek. So the seeker is called a talibun. Talibun. And if he's a student of knowledge, we'll say talibul ilm. He's a seeker of knowledge. So if we were to take now alima and put it on our scale here, please ignore there's a pattern on there for some reason. But if we were to put alima on our scales, it will be alimun. And another point is we have 6 boxes here. Going from the top, we have mufrad, and underneath it will be anything that is singular. To the right, we have muthanna, that is for 2. To the left, we have jam'. And underneath everything there will be for 3 or more. And then we have mudhakkar. Going across, anything there will be masculine. Below that, mu'annath, anything going across is feminine. So if I say alimun, I can say ana alimun, I'm a alim. Huwa alimun, he's a alim. Anta alimun, you are an alim. So I used a mufrad, singular, mudhakkar, masculine. And then below that, fa'ilatun, I can say alimatun, hiya alimatun, she's a alima. She might say ana alimatun if she's feminine, ana alimatun, I'm a alima. Or she can say anti alimatun. So we have the 12 pronouns, and you can use these 6 boxes for the 12. Going across, alimun, alimani, alimuna. Alimuna, then you can say alimatun, alimatani, alimatun. If we can do another one, we'll go hafidha. So hafidhun, hafidhani, hafidhuna, hafidhatun, hafidhatani, hafidhatun. And that is, and then he says underneath that the khumasi, the ruba'i and sudasi, the 3, 4, the 5, of the 4, 5 and 6 letters, the increase will be the same. So essentially when we do the 4 letter, what we'll do is we'll increase with alif and nun in fa'ilani. Fa'iluna will increase with the waw and nun. Fa'ilatun will increase with the ta marbuta, until the end. So when I do the examples, it will become clear. But for the 4, 5 and 6, the increase will be as is shown in this box. So before we move on to the ruba'i, what I'll do is I'll take a example from Surah Kafirun. Surah Kafirun brings together the verbs and nouns that we've taken previously. So it starts with أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل يا أيها الكافرون قل يا أيها الكافرون. قل is the amr, يا أيها الكافرون is the nida. But what we're focusing on here is al-kafirun, kafirun. So who can now tell me the root letters for al-kafirun? Because when you know the root letters, you could go back and understand the meaning. You might read in a book the word kafirun, but you don't know what kafirun means. So you go back to the root letters, understand the meaning, and then understand that it's ism al-fa'il. Naam, kafara. Naam, to disbelieve. So is this a verb or is this a noun? Would you say this is a verb or noun? It's a noun. Nah. So this is ism al-fa'il for the jam'a, a group of disbelievers. They're called kafirun. And one kafir is going to be called a kafir. And if she's feminine, we'll say kafiratun. So قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا الْكَافِرُونَ. Then in the next ayah, لَا أَعْبُدُ مَا تَعْبُدُونَ. La used to negate. أَعْبُدُ is a verb. أَعْبُدُ. The meaning of أَعْبُدُ is. So by now we should know the meaning of أَعْبُد. To worship. صح. لا أعبد. I do not worship. If I were to drop the la, it will mean I worship. لا أعبد, I do not worship. ما, what, تعبدون. So now we have the اسم فاعل. لا أعبد, I do not worship. Verb. ما تعبدون, that which you are all worshipping. تعبدون. ولا أنتم, and you do not all. عابدون ما أعبد. You are all not worshippers of what I worship. Here we have the ism al-fa'il again, and then we have the verb عابدون. I am not a worshipper, or you are not worshippers of what I worship. ولا أنا عابد. We have the ism al-fa'il again, فاعل. ولا أنا عابد. I am not a worshipper ما عبدتم, of that which you worship. ولا أنتم عابدون. And it returns again, and you are not worshippers ما أعبد, what I worship. لكم دينكم, for you is your religion. ولي دين, and for me is mine. So that's for the thulathi. Then we'll go to the ruba'i. The ruba'i, he's going to give us al-qa'idatul amma. So when it says qa'idatul amma, it is a general principle for whoever follows. So here we have a general principle في اسم الفاعل من الرباعي والخماسي والسداسي. So whatever comes after this is everything for the ruba'i, the khumasi and the sudasi. How many points? We've got 3 that we need to follow. أولا, the first, يكون اسم الفاعل من الرباعي والخماسي والسداسي على وزن مضارعها. So this makes it easy for us. The اسم الفاعل, the active participant, the one doing the action, will be on the scale of the ruba'i, the 4-letter, 5-letter or 6-letter scale. Essentially what he's saying is the اسم الفاعل is taken from the مضارع. هذا واضح. Then he says ثانيا, second point, يبدل حرف المضارع ميما مضمومة. So the حرف المضارع is swapped for a meme that has a dhamma. That's the second point. And if I'm reading too fast, then let me know, I'll slow down. ثالثا, يكسر الحرف الذي قبل الآخر, that the letter before the last will then take a kasra. The letter before the last will take a kasra. So we'll repeat the 3 points now. The first point is that the ism al-fa'il is taken from the present tense. Then the harf al-mudari', which is used for the present tense verbs, is dropped, replaced with a meme that has a dhamma. And the last point is that the second last letter will take a kasra. So now if you look at af'ala, yuf'ilu, we know the scale. Af'ala, that's the madi. Yuf'ilu is the present tense. If you follow the points that it's given us, first is that the present tense is taken from the ism al-fa'il is taken from the present tense. So yuf'ilu, muf'ilun. You can see there's a pattern here. Second point was that the harf al-mudari' is dropped. So the harf al-mudari' is that ya with a dhamma on it is dropped, replaced with a meme that has a dhamma. And then the last point was that the second last letter will take a kasra. But if you look at the ruba'i, they all take kasras. The ain kalama will always take a kasra. So yuf'ilu, yufa'ilu, yufa'ilu, yufa'lilu. So in this case, all of them take a kasra already. So if you look at af'ala yuf'ilu, the ism al-fa'il is going to be muf'ilun. Muf'ilun. So if you look at the verb, the noun now mun'imun, who could take it back to the mudari and the amr, the mudari and the madi? Looking at mun'imun. If I was to ask you now, take it back to the mudari. You could give me the mudari or you could give me the madi. Both are fine. ينعم, صح. So ينعم. نعم. So you say مخلص will be أخلص يخلص. I like that. The next one will be فاعل يفاعل, and the اسم الفاعل is مفاعل, and a very known or common word is مجاهد. جاهد يجاهد. So if you want to know the meaning of مجاهد, you go back and see what the meaning of jahada is. Go back to the madi, jahada. And the next one is fa'ala yufa'lilu. You have mufa'ilun. Fa'lala yufa'lilu. The ism al-fa'il is mufa'lilun. Remember, all of them have to take a tanween at the end since they are nouns. And then he says, give me the ism al-fa'il for the following verbs. So we have amkana. Amkana. What is the ism al-fa'il for amkana? Here he gives you the madi. So you go from the madi, then you take it to the mudari'. By now you should know the mudari'. And from the mudari' you take it to the ism al-fa'il. So amkana. Anyone can give me the ism al-fa'il for amkana. ممكن. أحسنت. ممكن. And here we have درس. Someone else give me the answer for درس. درس, to teach. So here what we're looking for is someone who teaches. درس. درس. ممكن. Okay, correct. Now this time I need the اسم الفاعل for درس. This word everyone knows. You definitely know the اسم الفاعل for درس. Okay, I think no one knows. مدرس. The answer is مدرس. So مدرس is someone who teaches. درس يدرس to teach, and the teacher we translate as teacher. مدرس. مدرس is someone who teaches. هاجر يهاجر. مهاجر. Now, so do the rest as exercise. If you've not done this lesson with us, then try and do this lesson as exercise. We'll move on to the khumasi now. So we have إن فعل ينفعل. إن فعل ينفعل. The اسم الفاعل for this is منفعل. منفعل. Then we have افتعل يفتعل. The ماضي or the مضارع. Then we take the اسم الفاعل from the مضارع. We have مفتعل. مفتعل. Notice meme with a dhamma, second last letter takes a kasra, and then there's a tanween at the end. إفعل يفعل. The answer is مفعل. And these are used, this scale here, number 3, generally used for colors and deficiencies. Someone that has a deficiency will use this scale. Then we have تفعل يتفعل. اسم الفاعل بمتفعل. تفاعل يتفاعل متفاعل. تفعلل يتفعلل متفعلل. So this is the benefit of sarf now. You just follow patterns. You jump from scale to scale in order to manipulate and use in order. The scale will not have a kasra. This scale will not have a kasra on the second last letter because of its present tense. If you could write the scale you mean. Naam. Yeah, remember there's a second last letter there is going to be the lam. But that will be that will come to us in Sarf book 2. Come to us in Sarf book 2. There's some things the author doesn't mention. He'll leave it for the second book due to him trying to keep this book for beginners. Now, and then after, obviously you are expected to do the exercises here in Sharaha, and you take it to the Mudari', and by now you should be able to do it without looking, because remember the Thulathi, you need to be told what the Mudari' is. But as for the Ruba'i, the Khumasi and the Sudasi, since they all have one present tense, one Amr, you're able to do it without a dictionary. I hope that's clear. So because he's giving you the Madi here, you should be able to take it to the Mudari', and from the Mudari' you should be able to take it to the Amr if you wish, or you can go from the Mudari' to the Ism al-Fa'il. Okay, so let's take the Sudasi now. The Sudasi is Istaf'ala yastaf'ilu. Istaf'ala yastaf'ilu. And then the Ism al-Fa'il will be Mustaf'ilun. So we've dropped the Harf al-Mudari', we've replaced it with a meme that has a Dhamma. Second last letter is already taking a Kasra, and there's going to be a Tanween. So Istaf'ala yastaf'ilu Mustaf'ilun. That's how you memorize it. Istaf'ala yastaf'ilu. What is the Amr for this scale? Istaf'ala yastaf'ilu. I'll ask two questions. First of all, what's the root letters here? So let's take the first one here. Mustaftihun. Mustaftihun. One person can give me the Mudari', one person give me the Amr, and one person give me the Ism al-Fa'il. نعم فتح. Alright, you've got that correct. Then what is the مضارع now? Yes, يستفتح. And what's the أمر? يستفتح. Since you're typing on Zoom, I understand it can be a bit slow, so we'll give it time. يستفتح. When I ask for the أمر, I'm only asking for the singular male. Alhamdulillah, يستفتح. Okay, so everyone understood. So far you all understand the ماضي, the مضارع, the أمر, and اسم الفاعل. So, alhamdulillah, if there's any questions, we can take questions. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen.